A very good morning. Welcome to this edition of News for the Hearing Impaired. I'm Rukma and with me is Rajni. Let's begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch Gareeb Kalyan Rojgar Abhiyaan today to boost livelihood opportunities in rural India. Focused campaign of 125 days across 116 districts in 6 states to work in mission mode to help migrant workers. Abhiyaan to launch from Telihar village of Beldor block in Bihar's Khagaria district through video conference. Prime Minister chairs all-party meeting via video conference on situation along the India-China border. Parties back government. PM Modi assures no intrusion at LAC. BJP bags 8 of 19 Rajya Sabha seats in 8 states. In Madhya Pradesh, Jyotiraditya Scindia of BJP and Digvijay Singh of the Congress party win. In Rajasthan, Congress wins 2 seats while the BJP wins 1 seat. Centre writes to states to follow guidelines for effective home isolation. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare requests states to ensure strict implementation of guidelines at the field level to effectively curb COVID-19 pandemic. Lieutenant Governor Bajal makes a 5-day institutional quarantine mandatory for every COVID-19 patient under home quarantine in Delhi. India's recovery rate from COVID-19 stands at 53.79%. Number of cured and discharged patients above 2,04,000. Total active cases crosses over 1,63,000. COVID-19 infected cases rise to over 86,29,000 with over 4,58,000 fatalities globally. Brazil has second worst outbreak after US. WHO reiterates countries must lift restrictions slowly and carefully. In our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch a massive rural public works scheme, Gareeb Kalyan Rojgar Abhiyaan, to empower and provide livelihood opportunities to returnee migrant workers and rural citizens on the 20th of June through video conference. The Abhiyaan will be launched from village Telihar, block Beldor of Khagaria district of Bihar. The villages across 116 districts in 6 states will join the program through the common service centers and Krishi Vigyan Kendras. The campaign of 125 days to be launched today will work in mission mode and involve intensified and focused implementation of 25 different types of work to provide employment to migrant workers. Focus will be on creating infrastructure in the rural regions of the country with a resource envelope of 50,000 crore rupees. A total of 116 districts with more than 25,000 returnee migrant workers across 6 states: Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Jharkhand and Odisha have been chosen for the campaign. These districts are estimated to cover about 2/3 of such migrant workers. The Prime Minister chaired an all-party meeting yesterday on the situation at India's border with China in Ladakh. The meeting took place via a video conference. Cabinet ministers including Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar briefed those at the meeting about the situation at the LAC. Congress leader Sonia Gandhi, NCP leader Sharad Pawar and Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray were among others who attended the meet.
मैं आप सभी को सभी राजनीतिक दलों को फिर से आश्वस्त करता हूं कि हमारी सेनाएं सीमाओं की रक्षा करने में पूरी तरह सक्षम है। हमने उन्हें यथोचित कार्रवाई के लिए पूरी छूट दी हुई है। आप सभी ने इस बैठक के लिए अपना समय दिया, अपने मूल्यवान सुझाव दिए। इसके लिए मैं सभी दलों का, आप सभी नेतृत्वगण का हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं और आपके सुझाव आगे की रणनीति में बहुत लाभकर्ता होंगे, ये मुझे पूरा विश्वास है।
The Prime Minister said no post has been occupied.
पूर्वी लद्दाख में जो हुआ उसको लेकर आपने रक्षा मंत्री जी और विदेश मंत्री जी को सुना भी और प्रेजेंटेशन को भी देखा। न वहां कोई हमारी सीमा में घुस आया है, न ही कोई घुसा हुआ है, न ही हमारी कोई पोस्ट किसी दूसरे के कब्जे में है। लद्दाख में हमारे 20 जाबाज शहीद हुए, लेकिन जिन्होंने भारत माता की तरफ आंख उठाकर देखा था, उन्हें वो सबक सिखा कर गए। उनका ये शौर्य, ये बलिदान हमेशा हर भारतीय के मन में अमिट रहेगा।
The Prime Minister further asserted that India's interests are of utmost importance. India has never bowed down in front of any foreign power and will never do so.
राष्ट्रहित, देशवासियों का हित हमेशा हम सभी की सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता रही है। चाहे ट्रेड हो, कनेक्टिविटी हो, काउंटर टेररिज्म हो, भारत ने कभी किसी बाहरी दबाव को स्वीकार नहीं किया है। राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा के लिए जो भी जरूरी कार्य है, जो भी जरूरी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का निर्माण है, उसे इसी तरह तेज गति से आगे भी किया जाता रहेगा।
PM Modi assured that patrolling will be increased and more vigilant. The newly built infrastructure, he said, has facilitated increased patrolling.
बीते 5 वर्षों में देश ने अपनी सीमाओं को सुरक्षित करने के लिए बॉर्डर एरिया में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट को प्राथमिकता दी है। हमारी सेनाओं की दूसरी आवश्यकताओं जैसे फाइटर प्लेन्स, आधुनिक हेलीकॉप्टर, मिसाइल डिफेंस सिस्टम आदि पर भी हमने बहुत बल दिया है। नए बने हुए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की वजह से खासकर LAC में अब हमारी पेट्रोलिंग की कैपेसिटी भी बढ़ गई है। पेट्रोलिंग बढ़ने की वजह से अब सतर्कता बढ़ी है और LAC पर हो रही गतिविधियों के बारे में भी समय पर पता चल रहा है।
Prime Minister assured that the army is leaving no stone unturned to protect the nation. He said that the government has given a free hand to the army in many matters and India does not want peace and instead India wants friendship but will not compromise on her sovereignty.
आज भारत की सेनाएं हर सेक्टर में एक साथ मूव करने में पूरी तरह सक्षम है। ऐसे में हमने जहां एक तरफ सेना को अपने स्तर पर उचित कदम उठाने की छूट दी है, वहीं दूसरी तरफ डिप्लोमेटिक माध्यमों से भी चीन को अपनी बात दो टूक स्पष्ट कर दी है। भारत पीस और फ्रेंडशिप चाहता है, लेकिन अपनी सॉवरेनिटी की रक्षा हमारे लिए सर्वोपरि है और आप सबने भी इसी भाव को प्रकट किया है।
Leaders of political parties hailed the bravery displayed by our armed forces in Ladakh. They reposed faith in the leadership of the Prime Minister in this hour of need and expressed commitment to stand united with the government. They also shared their thoughts and ideas on dealing with the situation. Mamata Banerjee said her party stands strongly in solidarity with the government. Nitish Kumar said that there should be no difference between leaders and parties should not allow any disunity which can be exploited by other nations. Chirag Paswan said that the country feels safe under the leadership of the Prime Minister, while Uddhav Thackeray lauded the Prime Minister and said the entire country is one and with Prime Minister Modi. Congress President Sonia Gandhi said that the leaders are still in the dark about the details. She questioned the government about intelligence reports and other related matters. NCP chief Sharad Pawar stressed that issues of whether soldiers carried arms or not are decided by international agreements and the parties need to respect sensitivities involved in such matters. Conrad Sangma said the Prime Minister has been working on infrastructure in the Northeast and that must go on. BSP Chief Mayawati said this is not the time for politics and that she firmly stands with the Prime Minister on whatever decisions he takes. M.K. Stalin welcomed the recent statement by the Prime Minister on the issue. The Bharatiya Janata Party won 8 seats of the total 19 Rajya Sabha seats that went to polls yesterday, followed by Congress and YSR-CP with 4 seats each. 1 seat each was won by the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, the Mizo National Front and National People's Party. Rajya Sabha elections were held yesterday. Of the 19 seats, 4 each were in Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat, 3 in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, 2 in Jharkhand and 1 each in Manipur, Mizoram and Meghalaya. In Madhya Pradesh, the BJP bagged 2 seats, Jyotiraditya Scindia and Sumer Singh Solanki. Digvijay Singh of the Congress party also won. In Rajasthan, the Congress won 2 seats while the BJP won 1 seat. K.C. Venugopal and Neeraj Dangi won from the Congress, while Rajendra Gehlot is the sole BJP winner. 4 candidates from Karnataka, Iranna Kadadi and Ashok Gasti of the BJP, former Prime Minister H.D. Devagowda, Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge were elected unopposed. Nabam Rebia of the BJP was elected unopposed to the lone Rajya Sabha seat from Arunachal Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, YSR-CP candidates Pilli Subhash Chandra Bose, Mopi Devi Venkatraman, Piramal Nathwani and Ayodhya Rami Reddy won all the 4 seats. In Jharkhand, BJP's Deepak Prakash and JMM's Shibu Soren won the polls. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has issued revised guidelines regarding home isolation. As per the guidelines, very mild and pre-symptomatic COVID-19 patients can opt for home isolation, provided the patient has a room to himself or herself with toilet facility and has an adult attendant or caregiver. Also, the patient will agree to monitor his or her health and regularly inform the health status to the district surveillance officer for further follow-up by surveillance teams. An important clause of the revised guidelines is that the treating doctor is satisfied about the patient opting for home isolation based on medical assessment and assessment of his or her residential accommodation. In addition, the patient will fill in an undertaking on self-isolation and follow home quarantine guidelines. Also, all such cases of home isolation further will be monitored by teams of well-oriented doctors on a regular basis. Their discharge should follow the required guidelines and will be reported as per norms. In this regard, some instances have been noticed wherein home isolation is allowed in a routine manner in certain states, and clauses of the revised guidelines are not followed in letter and spirit. This may lead to spread of the disease within family members and neighbors, more so in urban settings such as dense urban agglomerations. In this regard, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has requested states to ensure strict implementation of the guidelines on home isolation at the field level to effectively curb spread of the pandemic. 5-day institutional quarantine has been made mandatory for every COVID-19 patient under home quarantine in Delhi. Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal ordered on Friday a decision the Aam Aadmi Party government termed arbitrary that will seriously harm the national capital. The Delhi government has also said the centre should reconsider the decision that is expected to put severe pressure on the existing health infrastructure in view of the shortage of doctors and nurses to treat serious coronavirus patients. Baijal further said in his order that mandatory physical verification of each case under home quarantine is to be carried out by the surveillance teams of district surveillance officers under the overall supervision of the district magistrate in order to limit the spread of COVID-19 in view of the surge in cases. The coronavirus pandemic is accelerating and the world is in a new and dangerous phase. According to the World Health Organization, Thursday recorded the 150,000 new cases, the highest in a single day, and nearly half of those in the Americas. In his virtual briefing from WHO headquarters in Geneva, Director General Tedros said over 86 lakh 26,000 people have been reported infected by the novel coronavirus globally, and over 4 lakh 58,000 have died so far. Brazil has the world's worst outbreak outside the US, with over 10 lakh 32,000 confirmed cases and almost 48,000 deaths. The US has over 22 lakh 19,000 confirmed cases and over 1 lakh 19,000 deaths so far. He added that a large number of new cases were coming from South Asia and the Middle East as well. WHO DG Tedros has said that the world is in a new and dangerous phase and reiterated that countries need to lift restrictions slowly and carefully, but be ready to bring them back quickly if needed.
The world is in a new and dangerous phase. Many people are understandably fed up with being at home. Countries are understandably eager to open up their societies and economies. But the virus is still spreading fast. It is still deadly, and most people are still susceptible. Only by putting politics aside and working in true collaboration can we make a difference. We're most vulnerable when we're divided, but with solidarity and cooperation, we will overcome this pandemic.
The number of COVID-19 cases in the United States has topped 22 lakhs as daily new cases hit a record high in some states yesterday. The national death toll has increased to over 1.19 lakh. Meanwhile, the capital of the US, Washington, D.C. is moving to the second phase of its reopening next week. Playgrounds, libraries, gyms and nail salons will be able to reopen on a limited basis starting Monday. Restaurants also will be able to seat diners indoors, also at 50% capacity. Theatres, cinemas and concert venues will remain closed. Public pools will reopen on a limited basis. Although Washington Mayor Bowser has said earlier this week that it may take a few weeks to properly prepare facilities. The UK is ready to lower COVID-19 threat levels by a notch. With infection rates declining, the authorities here believe that the COVID-19 alert level should move to level 3, meaning the epidemic is in general circulation, from level 4, meaning the epidemic transmission is high or rising exponentially. With a COVID-19 death toll of over 42,000 and a total number of infected being recorded around 3,03,000, the UK is one of the worst hit countries in the world. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said he expects all school children to return to class by September. Schools were shut in March to most children amidst the pandemic. Considering the losses, the government has announced that schools in England will receive extra funding to help them deal with the impact of lost teaching time during the lockdown. As coronavirus infections snowballed in more than 185 countries, Mexico's health ministry reported a record 5,662 new confirmed cases of the virus and 667 additional fatalities, bringing the total in the country to 1,65,455 cases and 19,747 deaths. Millions across the country have been in quarantine since mid-March, and there are fears that the country's infection curve has not flattened since. In June, quarantine restrictions were eased and some factories, offices and shops were opened. Amidst this, the government has said the real number of infected is likely significantly higher than confirmed cases. As Turkey eases restrictions against the spread of COVID-19, Turkish Airlines resumed flights to the US after over 2 months. 2 planes heading to Washington, D.C. and Chicago took off from Istanbul airport. Turkey has eased restrictions with reopening of restaurants and cafes. The government now has allowed intercity flights and car travel and lifting weekend stay-home orders this month. Flag carrier Turkish Airlines and Pegasus Airlines have also resumed some international flights. Turkey recorded over 1,85,000 cases and 4,905 deaths so far. And with that, we wind up this edition of the News for the Hearing Impaired. Namaskar.